Hello,
I'm
hello,
always
hello,
like,
everybody. Yeah, I know we can't. I know I kind of want to jam a little bit. I almost start freestyling a little bit, but I ain't gonna do nobody like that. Not tonight.
you should
Hey,
have
welcome
because
to.
I listened to Is It Wednesday yet? And you put yourself on your own Mount Rushmore. So you should have hit us with something so we could know.
Yeah, those were for laughs and chuckles and things like that. You know what I mean? I'm just joking.
Hmm.
Them was jokes. Them
Let
just
me find
jokes,
out.
as they say.
Let me
All
find
right,
out.
but hey, well, yeah. Welcome everyone to Perspective. As you know, it is Thursday night, 8:30, and Perspective is in the house. So, as we do always, we kind of give a precursor on what Perspective is about, and the premise of our podcast is right there in the name. Perspective. This is about different opinions, different perspectives, different lived experiences, and we come to discuss those things in a civilized area. Will there be disagreements, different points of views? Absolutely. But this is a safe place and we can discuss those with respect on any given point or topic or experience. If someone has a certain view, it doesn't make theirs wrong and yours right, or you wrong and them right. It simply means they're different. And when we can talk about our differences in a respectful manner and environment, what it does is actually shows that we have more in common than not, and that it brings us closer together. And that is what we want to do here on Perspective. So we encourage you to definitely comment, get into the comments, speak your mind, share your perspective freely. Yeah, somebody may come with some other information, but what that'll do is enlighten you at any point. And if you hear something that's good, great, take it. If you hear something that's bad, leave it alone. And you don't agree, I have a saying, take the meat, throw away the bone, and that's what we'll do. With that being said, I'll quickly introduce myself. I am Eric Butler, aka the Intellect, aka Cullinan 8, because I'm the biggest diamond ever found on land, aka the Atlantic, because I'm cold, deep, and choppy, and ain't nothing nobody can do about it. All right. And I am a father. I have been in the talent acquisition space, doing consulting in the corporate arena, in the community through a nonprofit that focuses on financial literacy called the Empower Series. So definitely take an opportunity to go out to YouTube or go to www.empowerseries.com. Check out that information. And other than that, just someone coming to share their perspective, their lived experiences, and hoping to enlighten or help someone. With that being said, I am joined by someone who really doesn't need any introduction. I call her Doc. She is my partner. Partner with an A, not partner, but partner. My sis, someone I respect highly, who is really decorated. And I'll let her give all of those acronyms and letters behind her and the accomplishments she's had. And so I'll pass it over to my guest, as you can see, Latoya.
Not guest, co-host.
I
So
mean,
hi.
my co-host, excuse me.
So hi everyone. Thank you so much
Yeah,
for being
Doc
here.
said, get it right. Get it right.
Okay. We always appreciate that you could be anywhere, but you would rather be here with us on a Thursday. So thank you so much. My name is Latoya, aka Them Kids Mama, aka Chef Jeff's wife. Sidebar: Chef Jeff will be having his own show coming soon on the BS3 network called This Dope Cooking Show. We're super excited about that. But back to me because this is Thursday. Thursday belongs to the queen.
Absolutely.
I am
Absolutely.
a licensed professional counselor. I'm an author. I also do speaking engagements and I host events. And I'm super excited to get into this topic. Before we do, let me give you my disclaimer. I am a therapist, not your therapist, unless we have paperwork and a payment situation going on. We are talking about things from our education, from our experience, from conversations we have had with other people. The things that we are bringing up are not necessarily our personal business. Unless we say this happened in my house, this is what I am experiencing. We're just talking in general, okay? And we also know that your sister's cousin homegirl had the same situation, but it worked out well for her. We love her and we are happy for her. That's not what we're talking about. Okay. So the
Absolutely.
topic
Absolutely.
is stop lying, them kids ruined your marriage, or did they? Let me give y'all some backstory. So I was
Mm,
having a conversation with someone, not a client, not in a session, a regular conversation. And the guy was telling me, like, yeah, we were happy, we were in love, like everything was good. And then we started having children, and now I don't like her no more. And I was
mm, mm,
like,
mm,
okay,
mm, mm, mm.
why you don't like her? He was like, I don't know her anymore. She's a different person. And I was like,
Mm.
and he was like, having children ruined my
Interesting.
marriage.
Wow. Bold
That's where the
statement.
topic comes from. I know, right?
Wow. So what so Doc, I know you mosey and maneuver through people's brains quite
Okay.
a bit and help them over their emotional landscapes. So what do you derive from his statements?
I think it was true for their situation. I think
Mm,
from his perspective, I think it was true. I think his perspective is skewed. I think he has issues, but I think from his vantage point, like his viewpoint, I think he's right. Having kids did ruin their marriage
ye-
because what happened was she was catering to him at his beck and call, hanging from the chandelier, and now that they have little children and you have children, so
gotcha.
you know when they
Mm.
first get here, like they literally need you to survive.
They
And so
they
I
gon' they
think
gonna
that,
take over. So yeah, they're gonna take over.
yeah,
So when you said that, the first thing that came to mind, forgive me for jumping in, but
no, no, no,
I
go
was
ahead.
thinking when you made the statement, when you quoted him saying, she's changed. I'm like, yeah, kids are going to do that on many fronts, especially for the mothers. I mean, you're carrying another human being in your body. You have to push that body out your body. Yeah, those type of things will change you in some way. So I was just kind of confused. I'm like, was that not an expectation of his? Did he not foresee that happening? And then it's going to change them on their concerns. Now they have to worry about, and it's not even worry. You have to put attention and focus and time and energy toward your child, and I would think you would want your wife to do that and be nurturing to your children. So it's confusing me. Me and him would have had a probably little less agreeable conversation, maybe, because I would definitely would have delve into questioning his. I'm like, bruh, what are you talking about? So did he kind of go into like exactly what you said? Did he say like she's not catering to me anymore? Did he say she's
Well,
mean
obviously
now or anything
he
more
couldn't say it
specific?
like that. He
Okay.
couldn't say she's not catering to me anymore. He was just
Mm,
like, we don't spend as much time as we used to. We're not as connected. We don't have as much intimacy. And she's a little bit more irritable. So you know me, questions. I
oh,
got questions. So
uh,
I was like,
oh, he ain't getting no more sugar box.
well, how? Okay, cool, right? She should still be putting out, cool. But so here's my question. I said, well, how much of the emotional labor of the children do you handle? He didn't know what emotional labor was. So I went on to explain what emotional labor
Oh,
is, blah, 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 all the things. And he was like, oh, I don't, that's her. If she's doing all that, no, you can't get no sugar box. She tired. What is she supposed to do?
oh, now we know where her irritability comes from. Now we know where that comes from. Yeah. I don't know. I don't feel like I'm any more compassionate and thoughtful than the next guy. And so I'm really taken aback by his approach and thought process on this. That's crazy. But so what are some so I would say the things that because he mentioned, so of course I'm thinking about the time, which could be in her irritability could be, sleep deprivation. Because you are I mean, you're the takeout too for the baby. You got to feed the baby unless you're giving them that unless you feeding your children, baby cow growth hormone, which I want to put that out there. Do not be giving your children baby cow growth hormone. That's for baby cows. It's not for you. They should be getting human growth hormone, baby
Fed is
growth
best.
hormone, which comes from mothers.
Fed
I'm
is
just saying.
best.
I'm a pro. Yes, I'm pro. I'm pro, and I'm going to say this, and they can get upset if they want to. I'm pro titty milk. Pro titty
Well,
milk
I'm
for the
upset.
babies. I said it.
I'm
Yeah, I
them.
said it.
I'm them. I'm upset. My perspective is if you cannot produce the milk, you don't get a say on what kind of milk they get. Here's why. I breastfed that first baby, she got like a day, a week, if I'm giving myself grace. But I breastfed my boys. It's a lot. It is hard. You are a literal milking cow. And if you don't eat, then there's no milk, and then you're stressed. And if you're stressed,
That's what I'm
then there's
saying.
no milk. And if like you eat broccoli because you like broccoli and you trying to snap back, now your baby got gas and they don't sleep. Fed is best. And I applaud, salute, and stand a woman who breastfeeds like exclusively and who only does like breast milk and they do it for like a year plus. I stand you. You are amazing, but fed is best. And he who does not produce milk does not
Fed.
get to weigh in. Fed is best.
I, I I think he who produced child can weigh in. That doesn't mean what he
He
weighs in on will
who
get,
does not lactate
actually
cannot weigh in.
considered or done. Okay. Listen. Those who do not lactate cannot weigh in. That may be a conversation too, because it's like, of course, men cannot dictate. I don't think any person can dictate anything to another, but in the
Right.
union of in the spirit of union, we are together.
Mhm.
You are gifting me the the opportunity to weigh in on those decisions, even though they're it's about your body. I would, so
Okay.
if I'm like, babe, if I'm like, babe, I've done the studies. I see how, because there are studies
Mhm.
where children who are
There are.
breastfed, tend to be, smarter, they learn quicker, they're healthier. It really boosts their immune system and things of that nature. I would want to give
Right.
our child that advantage. Now, of course,
Right.
if I mean it's too painful, something is wrong, you're not producing or anything like that, absolutely, let's find another alternative. I would
Okay.
never say whatever, get out, you deal with it. I'm not doing that. But I would want to have that conversation. You know what I'm saying? And I would hope that my opinion and thoughts and facts would be,
Mm.
sincerely considered before we just make a decision of, listen, they bite too much, they bite too hard. No, what I'm saying, or something like that.
I don't that
That's it.
breastfeeding
That's it.
is
But
it wears on your mental health, like in real life. Some women are like rock
your
stars and they're
mental
like,
health,
yes, breastfeeding weighs on your mental health. I said it, I believe it, I've experienced it, I've lived it. There are some women out here who are like rock stars. They're like, yep, I breastfed for 18 months. We didn't have no problems. I had an overflow of milk. Da, 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 da. And I love them. And I think that those women are amazing. But that's not every woman's story.
I got you. And no, nothing like you all. I love your disclaimer because you always say it's not uh, you know, it's not, everything doesn't go for everybody. I
Right.
forget it's a monolith. Everybody's not a monolith, and there are so many different variations of factors. But overarching, I'm just like, because I mean, I'm just saying that's the design. That's how it's made. The milk wouldn't come out of it if it wasn't made for the baby. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
I think sometimes we have to push through hard times. Sometimes you just have to grit your teeth and go through, right?
Says the person who doesn't
Doc, like, no,
lactate and
whatever
who
let's
and
say,
nobody's teeth is
I'm there.
getting them, but okay.
You ain't gonna let me have it. Doc said, nope, nope,
Not that
and
one.
nope.
You
If
know,
I say
usually I'll
no,
be like,
so
okay, okay.
I
Not
can
not this one.
understand. Yeah,
Nope.
no, but with she was like, listen, you wasn't there. It's one of them things. You wasn't there. You wasn't there. So like the sleep deprivation, I would imagine getting up in the middle of the night, that's going to lend into the intimacy part of it. So that can be something. And then of course the time constraints, because then you don't have as much free time to get into it and do your thing. You know what I
Mm,
mean? Or even have the feeling of it. Because I imagine, like you said, if you're dealing with, I'm trying to, and what if you want to and you can't? Because that's another aspect of it. That can lead into some mental stress. And that can be an impact on the relationship or the marriage. Um,
mm,
and then having children come into once now you have to feed someone, you have to start preparing for their future. That's going to redirect your monies, so the financial stress. So what would be so what do you feel like, am I on the right track, or these elements that truly have to be, well, matter of fact, I know they're accurate. So what I would say is, what would you say are some of the things to combat that? Because we're looking for solutions, and Doc is full of solutions. She has great insight on that. I'm gonna tell y'all.
So I think the thing is, when you find that your person, male or female, because men get irritable too, right? I think that when your person is showing signs of fatigue, irritability, like you just got to jump in. How can you lighten the load?
Hmm.
I think so often we're like, well, what you doing for me? Well, me. I didn't get, you didn't touch me. Okay, I didn't touch you, but I did 55
Why
other
we
things
gotta
for
sound
you.
like
Like,
that?
what's up? So I just think that like, where can
Wait,
you
what?
jump in?
Wait, say that again, Doc, because you kind of sped up. It was kind of slow to come through. It kind of chopped you up a little bit. Say that again.
Oh
So
my
you didn't
bad.
touch me, and then what? So
Yeah, they'd
what?
be like, you
No,
didn't touch
it's just
me.
technology. You know how I do.
You didn't touch me. No, I didn't touch you, but I did 55 other things that are like for you and going to help you grow and help you be better. Can I get a night off? Like, is there no PTO? Ain't no PTO in the bedroom? I don't get a night off?
Yeah, I think this where the communication comes. Yeah, we I think this where the communication comes in play, and having open, honest communication. Because now the thing is, I think it could come across insensitive. Like, you see me breastfeeding, you see me getting up in the middle of the night. You know what I'm saying? Or you see me pumping, and you see me doing all these other things. Yeah, and so if you say, yeah, I do see all those things, but I still need you to do this thing. You know what I'm saying? Or how
I'm a
can
fan of that.
I guess I wouldn't come to,
I'm a fan.
huh?
I'm a fan. Be honest.
Okay.
I am a fan. If you see me doing 45 other things, but you still want me to do this one thing, be honest about that. Don't give me that fake, oh, okay, you right. I didn't think about it like that. Don't give me that, because that's not how you really feel. If you honestly feel like, I see you breastfeeding, I see you waking up in the middle of the night, I see you shimmy shaking and whatever else, but I still need you to do this, I think you have to say that. I think you have to be honest about what your needs are, even if you sound like a jerk.
Hmm. Even if you sound like a jerk.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you sound like a jerk. I'll take it then. So I feel like I'm on the right track, because I'm definitely about, well, let me voice it. Um, and then I would say, if someone comes to you with some, I guess, unsavory news, just try to hold your water and not go off, because what they're not going to do it anymore if they got any sense. And then things are going to build up with each other, and then that definitely will become a problem. And this can be spurred on by having children into the marriage. Now, so we're talking about newborns.
Hold
Um,
on. I just saw like a ton of
what
comments that
about the changes?
let's catch these up. I didn't, they
Oh,
just now
okay,
popped.
gotcha. Let's get it.
Yeah, my
Let's
bad.
get it. Oh, Ben Sutter the third in the building. He says you can support BS3 Network by sending stars. Stars help us earn money to continue building the network. And thank you. And if you
Yes.
can't recognize it, Ben Sutter the third, he puts the BS3 in the BS3 network.
BS3.
Mr. J, and thank you, love you so. What you've built for us here, Mr. J Gilliard says, welcome, welcome, welcome to the comment section. We here again on another Thursday for perspective. Indeed, indeed, indeed. Let me go on and address the elephant in the room.
Uh-oh.
All that BFF mess, yeah, Tuesday. I'm just gonna say I felt some type of way. I did. I just wanted to put it out there. I want it on record. It was a lot of festive things about his announcement, and I ain't gonna say no name. I guess I should say some names, because it was on, you know, Queen Queen 3 and King, which is on
Mhm.
Tuesdays at 7.
7.
And so y'all go check that out. This Tuesday was a real good show. My sis and my partner was on there with her partner. You know what I'm saying? So I would know with her husband, with her no, my man, my man, my man is how she says it.
No,
I love it, and it was great. But yeah, all of that, my BFF, I was, my face was turned up. But I'm just saying, I mean,
it was
we
a little
good,
salty.
but I'm just letting you know. I think. Oh,
It was a
I
little
just talked
salty.
about communication, so I'm communicating. Yeah, a little bit. Ben Sutter III says, "Good evening. Good evening to you, sir."
Good evening, sir.
And then we got Facebook user says, "Correct." All right, all right, all right. And I'm
Okay,
pretty
we're
sure
caught
they
up.
were. It, yeah, catch up so we can know what they're referring to. I guess is what we're saying.
I'm caught up.
Absolutely,
It just popped up.
absolutely. Okay, all right. So, with that being said, Doc, um, the changes like when you have children, the changes in intimacy, like, and I'm going off the story that kind of spurred on this conversation. So he says she's
Right.
changed. Could it be like, once you have children, can that can change a woman's libido? I don't know. Would it be
And so
physically or
here's the
mentally or
thing.
both? I would suspect.
All of the above. And while you are like breastfeed, that changes your libido too. And I mean, it could go up for some women, it could go down for some women. It could like
Oh,
everything changes. Literally everything. Everything. When you grow a human in your
oh,
body and then push it out or get it cut out and then allow them to basically attach to you and leach all of your nutrients, it changes your body. It just does.
suckling. I would imagine. I would imagine. I would.
Yeah, yeah, like
Adrian W says a newlywed that is tuned in, and this is me with the looking, loving this conversation. Someone
I'm pretty
who,
sure
yeah.
this my sis.
So
I'm pretty sure. But if not,
okay,
hey,
okay,
but if it is, hey sis.
okay. Now they came in to try to get some this. Yeah. So when we talked about some of the factors that can impact newlyweds or not newlyweds, but marriages when children
Right.
come into play. So you got to consider once the children come, you think about your sleep, your rest, your time constraints, because now time and attention is going to be diverted, and a lot of time and a lot of attention
So
is
much
going to be
fun.
diverted to the children. And this is not just in the beginning, but all the way through. Because y'all know it. I
Mhm.
mean, I'ma say it just don't stop. Even when you have adult children, depending on some things, you got to give them. There's going to be some level of interaction and attention you may have to show
Right, right.
in their early 20s, I
I
believe.
think it changes in the sense that it doesn't get worse, it just gets different. So like in the newborn phase, it's all that crying and diapers and doctor's
Different,
appointments
right?
and no sleep, right? But then they get a little older and they're able to get their own snacks and stuff like that, and then it gets a little bit easier. But then they get a little bit more older and it's like sports and school and dances and like, so I think that they're always going to be sucking your
Right,
time.
right.
It
Did I
just
say
looks
worse, Doc?
different.
I used the word worse.
No, I was just saying. I don't think you said worse. I said,
Oh, that's kind of like, oh, okay, got you.
yeah.
No, and yeah, and then financial, because now you got to divert money where it may if we went out to eat or we went on trips or we went and did things we enjoy
And
doing,
diapers are
that money
expensive.
may be diverted. And there you go. You know what I'm saying? Or you can go back old school, get you some tiles, cut them up, man, get you some bobby pins and boop, boop, plop, plop it
Ain't
on
nobody doing
there.
that.
Hey, we trying to live green. We trying to live green, man.
Oh my
Hey man, go
gosh.
on, rinse that, rinse around, rinse that off, wash it, and let's get it popping again. You know what I mean? It's a time saver and it's the money saver. You ain't got to go get the diapers. The diapers are already there. And then we were talking about when Adrian commented about changes in intimacy. So it could
Mhm.
change you physically, it could change the woman, and stress could also change the man. I don't want to just put this one-sided. The story and the background of this was, the man commenting on that not being there, which I think it would probably be more prominent. But I know that, some men get very inundated with their children, and that's the focus, and they lose being romantic with their significant other, doing the things you did to get them, not doing that anymore. You're taking all of that effort and energy and put it toward the kids, and you definitely balance is one of my favorite words. Make sure you keep priority to priority, because to
Mhm.
me, your mate is really the priority, because that trickles down to your children and impacts them in a great deal. So always, if y'all were together and y'all were one and one, keep it that. You know what I mean? What are your thoughts on that,
Mhm.
Doc? Did I mess up, go off
Yeah, so I
reservation,
think that
give back, put
nah,
out
it's
some
cool.
bad
It's cool.
perspective on that?
I'm gonna circle back around. I'm gonna come back. So I think that I
There
agree
you
with you,
go.
but I
There you
think that
go.
balance, I don't really believe in balance. I don't believe in that when we're talking about like life, because the definition of balance means that but all things are equal. All things are never going to be equal. There will be times in your life where your children require more. Somebody got an ear infection, somebody's getting ready for prom, somebody just had their first heartbreak, whatever it is. There'll be times in your life where your spouse is more important. Maybe they are coming up for promotion. Maybe you are trying to like just dial back into your marriage and the intimacy. And so I don't necessarily believe in balance. I believe in priorities. So when you're looking at your life and your family and the dynamic, what is the priority right now?
You say, wait, because you broke up, Doc. You say you don't believe in balance. You believe in what? The priorities? Because that was
Priorities.
good. Okay,
Like what's the
priorities, just
priority right now?
prioritizing whatever.
Yeah. Because you have to
Got
think
you.
about
Got you.
like,
Yeah, I talk about balance. Yeah, I talk about balance a lot, but I really, and when I talk about balance, I mean remaining balanced as you can, because there's no way to just stay right in the green. And you just want to try to not slide too far left or right on what I call the assessment scale of life. Because there's going
mhm,
to be time for everything under the sun. So it's going to be a time where I may carry 90 and it may be 10, or I have to prioritize this, and it's going to take 90% of my energy and time for a time. But I'm always going to try to work my way back toward the middle where I can serve as much things as possible. That's not going to always be the case. So I agree with that, Doc, and I like you clarifying that. So everybody will say, well, I'm not balancing everything well. It's not necessary,
it's
and
not
it's
a
it's
thing.
not it's not realistic. And because I also talk about reality, you definitely have to respect reality, and things are what they are, and you have to do what you have to do.
Right.
We're going to
Absolutely.
comments. Mr. J. Gill, said postpartum is real.
Very much
Doc,
so. And yeah, it is.
postpartum, I can't speak on it much.
Yeah, I had it with all three of my kids. It's a thing. It's a hard
What?
thing.
Okay, share,
Yeah, I had it
Doc.
with yeah, I had it with all of them. I think I was the most prepared with Zeke, my baby, because I had it with the other two. I had a plan. Like we had code words, like this is what I need from you. If you see this, do this. We communicated because we knew it was a thing for me. So yeah, postpartum is a real thing. It's scary too, but so
Okay.
having like support in place and like
Understood.
talking to your partner and being like having your
So,
partner be on board with what your plan is, that's important.
are you comfortable giving some, not your particular details of issue, but something to give a better idea of like what like when you say it's difficult, like is it a like you're feeling like you don't want to be there, you feel sad all the time? Like what is postpartum, I guess, from your definition?
So I think it's different for everybody, right? Like duh, like everybody's different. But some of the warning signs are like intense sadness, people not
Mm,
always bonding with their children, increased anxiety
mm,
when you didn't have anxiety, feelings of being like
mm.
overwhelmed, second guessing yourself, doubting your mothering skills. It's a lot. Like a lack of
Oh, okay,
energy,
it
which
is.
it's crazy because you just like birthed a baby. Going through labor is the closest you'll ever get to dying without dying. They say it's the equivalent of breaking like 7 bones at
What?
one time. Yeah, like look it up. And so after you go through all that, like duh, your body's tired. But with the postpartum, it's like extreme fatigue. Like you can't, like you never bounce back. It's never enough energy. And so that's why when you're talking about breastfeeding, breastfeeding takes energy.
Mm.
Like that's why people lose weight when they breastfeed, because they burning calories. Now I do
And
have
it's
a
a
friend
lot
who
of
would disagree with
chemical
that, but
changes.
yeah, it's a lot of
Yeah, and
changes.
it's a lot of chemical change. Yeah, yeah. So Mr. J Gill said intimacy becomes back rubs. Hey
Yep.
Jay, are you talking about giving a back rub or receiving a back rub? Okay. Yeah, because yeah.
I would say both.
Now I've spent my fair time around um the other, so I've seen some hints and tinges of how this can go. So
Hmm.
I'm just saying, yes, I understand. No, but I've had like, but I no, I've had like where I'm like, listen, you can't. It's too soon, and they like, no, I'm good. I'm like, no, you're not. I'm not going to the hospital here in a minute. So you just wait. Like I was
They get
the
them
the
Irish
I was what
twins.
the response I was the responsible one. And yeah, I don't want like birthday one day apart, 1 year, 1 day. So like 9 months and 1 day apart. No, stop that. That's we're not doing it. But anyway, um, so some other factors, another thing, and this may be, I think, progressing from that, and I think is a really a poignant one, differing parenting styles. Now, you would
Hmm.
hope and you would wish and you would think that individuals would have a discussion
They do.
beforehand about how they would parent their children, or a discussion of how they were parented, how you gonna handle punishments, what will be the primary focus of learning, how they'll learn, where and what we will do, how do we discipline, things like that. So that doesn't get, if that's not discussed and I would say planned and mapped out and come to some conclusion or some agreements, then that can definitely cause issue. There's definitely
Hmm.
disagreements on discipline, education, other aspects, like I mentioned.
I
And
agree.
Doc
I
say,
think
no,
that
that's
all
all
that.
good. Yeah, that's good.
No, I agree with you. Also think that having all of those disagreements related to your children is what makes people think that kids ruin marriages. So if we can't agree on
Now we getting
breast
somewhere.
milk, yeah, like if we can't agree on breast milk versus formula, diapers versus cloth, private school versus public, like it's always a constant battle between you and your partner and about this one human. Like I feel like that's why sometimes people think that oh, having kids ruined my marriage. But I don't think that's it. I think the argument about the children is more of like a symptom of something else. Because how come y'all don't know how to problem solve?
Oh,
How come y'all haven't already been through things
oh,
to where communication was necessary? So yeah, there's that.
wow. That's that. Doc, come on. I see you, Doc. They say, let me oh, and then shot that shot. And then we kind of mentioned this, like the shift in priorities, because that again has to be an agreement on what the conversation and the communication about. Yes, I knew. I used to just walk in there, and as soon as you got out the shower, I just snatch your towel off, and but I can't. We're not doing that anymore. Or I that's
Mm.
I have to prioritize some other things like um the child, all of the needs, or and even and on the man's side, putting that mental energy toward, okay, now I have to plan for their future, their protection, the provision of them. That may take some, yeah, I'm not as intimate or feeling as freely in that way because that's on my mind. Or I'm putting the work and the energy into getting that planned out for my children's future, for our future. So that can happen on the men's side. As far as the women's side, Doc, you can, I think it's kind of obvious. And I don't we can tiptoe around and try to act like it's not that, but man, when it comes to intimacy, that's such a big, huge portion. And you do have to talk about prioritizing that. I don't know. Organic is
So
good, but
So here's the thing, and people say that this is not good, but I think that like in the beginning when you have a newborn and things are new and it's your first baby and you figuring it out and you're overwhelmed and exhausted, put it on the calendar. And everybody's like, I don't want to schedule
whoa.
sex. Scheduled sex does not make it less sexy. It just means at 3 o'clock, I know to drink coffee so that I'm still awake. It doesn't have to be boring because we put it on the calendar, right? Like people like, if you schedule it, it becomes
Or let me
robotic.
ask,
No, it doesn't.
and if you're good at it, it's never robotic. I had to say
There
it,
you go.
but
There you go.
if you do it right, it ain't gonna be robotic. But here's another thing. I would say schedule it, and but that may not be what happens. It's a moment to be intimate. Sometimes it's just being
Mhm.
together, and if you want it to be organic, y'all just get together and y'all have that time. And if you're not in the mood, okay, well, what are you in the mood for? It may be to watch a movie. It may be to just, hey, let me rub your feet. Or that'll be a great time to talk about some of the things like, hey, I'm dealing with I'm a shift in my priorities, and this is what I was thinking about doing. Or a conversation about um something maybe you've seen or you're experiencing, and have that, because usually that intimacy it can definitely not only be sex, but if you want sex, you have that planned and you can do that too. So I think that would help in that
I
regard. And then
totally
the
agree.
communication challenges, like, yeah, like you mentioned. um and then, Doc, I'm gonna let you go in on this because you are a, what's the word, let me be respectful to my sis here. It's the thought of, and it's not you. I'm picking, really, to be honest, but it's really like roles are not clearly defined anymore,
Mhm.
and so sometimes that can be an issue. Individuals having, so the baby comes and, okay, you handle all of that, and my status and situation stays the same. That's on you, lady, or
Mm.
that's on you, man. And not understanding that you do need to jump in. There, hey, she didn't pumped and they in there. So at 3 in the morning, you get the bottle, heat it
Mm.
up, and you go. You know what I'm saying? The baby don't know the difference. I mean, I think the baby do know the difference. It's something about an
They do.
areola, I guess, that just makes it better. I don't I don't I don't know. But so what do you think
So
about
let
that?
me
That could be
let
a
me gather
factor.
that up.
Yeah.
I think it's,
Yeah.
and I always go back to this, it's communication. I think communication and having a plan. Like y'all got 9 months to figure out who's waking up on the first shift, who working up on the second shift. Like y'all got 9 months to figure it out. Figure it out. I also feel like if you're not working and he's working and he has to be at work at 4 in the morning, don't make him wake up at 1 to take care of the baby, because we need him to wake up at 4 to go get the money so we can buy these diapers, because who's doing cloth? Not me. So I think having a honest conversation about what your expectations are going in is the way to alleviate that. And so you mentioned like roles in relationships. I hate that because nothing is a woman's job, nothing is a man's job, right? Like everybody can do just about everything. We are capable humans. There are things that I prefer not to do, and as long as we talk about that, that's cool. But it doesn't have to be because this is woman's work and this is men's work, right? Like you can pick them socks up, you can do some
No,
laundry, I can take out the trash. It's cool.
it's not what you said earlier. You was like, listen, I'm the one, the one who produces the milk gets to say so. So,
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely,
I
because
guess
it's my
there are some.
person. It's my person. It's my
It's
body.
not
It's
a.
me.
It's not a.
I'm in
Feeding
control
the
of me.
baby is not your role since you produce. No, I was
Especially
gonna
not
try to
if we
make it
got no
difficult, but Doc, you make
formula.
it so.
Everybody's taking the turn. Hey, it's the 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. feeding. Get your baby, bro. Like,
So what if
go
he
get
say
that
it
ball.
is your role? That's why you produce the food. That means you're supposed to do that. You're supposed to
Oh,
take
he,
care.
he's gonna be
Listen,
my
don't
he
get
ain't my
mad at
fault.
me. I'm just a messenger in here.
I feel
I'm
like
just a
somebody, I feel like somebody is
messenger.
saying that. Somebody's like, it is
You,
your role. You will feed that baby. Somebody's saying that.
it's
That's not nice.
somebody
Don't do
saying
that.
that. Somebody saying. I'm not saying it because they come for you around here. I mean, I'm like, stay out my DMs. I did
Do
not mean any harm. This is perspectives. I
it.
just try to challenge different thoughts, different frames of thoughts, and as we put a great disclaimer at the beginning, this is just conversation. So take it in, consider it. So don't come for me. But I'm just like, it's hard to imagine. I'm like, if you're making the milk, then those aspects really kind of belong to you. When that's nature saying that, not me, right?
So,
Because
okay.
when it comes to
I feel like
provision,
that's extreme.
when it
Yes,
comes to
because you can't lactate. So, okay, if we decided that we breastfeeding only, no bottles, then yes, that's my thing. But then go ahead and change this diaper. It's enough responsibilities
okay,
to go around.
I got to go to work
Caring for keeping your
and
baby
then I need to
alive is
rest.
work. Keeping your
Well,
baby alive is
that's what
work,
he
and I
has.
need to rest also.
That's what he had the mother for. Keep the baby alive.
I'm so glad my baby's a child. This what people think for real. Mm-mm.
I don't know if they think it. I think it's innate, right?
Is it?
I'm asking. I'm asking.
Well, the people
I
say
think some
mama's
things
baby,
natural. You know what
daddy
I mean?
baby.
I,
So I guess.
which that see what I'm saying? There's another point.
I don't know. I just
I'm
don't
not
like
saying
it.
these are my best. Why? Well, let's delve into it. What is it that's not to like about it?
Cause get in here, change a diaper, get some throw up on you. Like, give me a second. Like, let me take a nap so that I can wake up and pump. Like, what's up?
Man, I mean, I was asking. I was really depending on you to kind of set a sleeping schedule for the baby, so you rest when the baby's resting. So you should be well rested, right?
Okay. You trying to make me act out. And so when you start talking in that real calm voice and
We
not your
just wrote
very white voice, I recognize what you're doing. I
Doc.
understand what's happening here, and I'm not going to give you what you want. So this is what I'm going to say. Hey, I tried to make a sleeping schedule, and your baby will not operate on the sleeping schedule. I am actually exhausted right now. Take your baby. Holla.
Oh, that's so rude. So rude.
I think that's where
Baby, I gotta rest.
extended family and
It takes
friends
a village.
really clutch right there. It really do take a village.
I think that's why it says it takes a village. It takes
Mhm.
a village. Because I don't think, unless okay, to be very, very honest, especially if it's a situation where the man is the breadwinner.
Okay.
And even if it's for just a short time, and in today's time, typically you have two adults that are both working in most
Right.
cases. And if you ask them, and you can tell me, Doc, correct me, redirect me. My thought is women would prefer, I don't want to work, especially if I'm going to have children. I would love to just be able to, PTAs, focus on my child, or and then you just pay all the bills, and I don't have to go do that. And if that's the case, doesn't that mean would that automatically imply? But it would just make sense for the one not working to take on more of those responsibilities. Yes or no?
Yes.
I mean, wouldn't that naturally just kind of be the case? So
Yes.
I don't understand where the pushback comes if there is a gentleman that, okay, hey, I'm going to work, I'm making those moves. So
Them
my
ain't the people that
expectation or my desire would be,
no, you mm-mm. So
I'm
there's a
listening.
subset of men who make enough money to provide for the house and the wife stays home. Those men aren't getting any pushback because her whole job or role as a housewife is to care for the house and the baby. The people who are getting the pushback is when they got to go to work too. You getting some pushback
Yeah,
because
I
I'm
think that
working
would be
40
common sense.
just
You
like
can't,
you working
yeah,
40.
you can't expect somebody to do that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean,
And
but you
also,
just work
I
at
do think
Wendy's though.
that what?
You just work at Wendy's. You just at the cash register. That ain't hard.
I'm not gonna do that with you. But what I will say is,
I'm
yes, there is a subset of women who prefer not to work. Now, I think in today's world, I don't think nobody want to work for real. I think we work to
nobody
afford our
wants to.
lifestyle. I don't think nobody want to
So,
work. Like you, like women want to stay home. Men do too.
you know what? You know what? No. This is the thing. I don't think. I think people have a desire to work, to produce, to do something. It's just they're not doing it in the area of their gifts or what they enjoy or what they like doing. And so it becomes mundane. It becomes a chore. But we do it because we have to, pay bills, fund your life, um, in that way. And we get in and we are indoctrinated to be workers and not entrepreneurs, to be borrowers and not the lenders. And so you have to go through that process on your own. Some catch it early, some catch it later in the game. And then some, and this is a real that people don't want to admit this. Some individuals are too far gone. They too far gone. They're deep
Mm-hmm.
in the system, and they'll try to make these moves, but you have to really almost burn down Rome and just start over. And they're like, man, I'm 46, 45, 43 years old, and I've built up, I'm kind of in the game. I'm in corporate America. I've kind of established. I think you can make that shift. You just have to be bold and brave enough to unplug and say, I'm really going to go after what I want to. But in doing that, this is where the caveat, because with this conversation, you can't do that when you have other people that are depending on you. It's like, I'm gonna go after my dream. Now you can do it, but you got to have the right partner. You got to have the right partner and your circumstances. And it may not be that you can do it now, may have to be later. Like, you might have to wait till the children get to a certain age, or you don't have that, you have the time and the energy to put toward it. But at the beginning, don't be trying to do that in the middle of it. Because I think people getting fed up with their jobs and trying to go after their dreams per se, that can put a strain on the relationship. And
Mm-hmm.
because you got kids and they like, well, what about, he can go to private, he ain't got to go to private school. He can go to, you know, he ain't got to have the Jordans. We can put him in these pro wings. Man, I know. I just dated myself on that one. You don't even know what a pro wing is. Doc say, pro wing. Did you try to look up pro wing, Doc? That is funny to me. So in the chat, so our viewers in the chat, man, just kind of put in some of your thoughts.
Could y'all
Or
let me
maybe what are
know
some
if y'all
things
know
that
what
you
pro
think.
wings are in the chat? Let me know if you know what
Yeah,
a
let her
pro wing.
know what pro wings are.
Because what is that?
I was gonna say, but I'm not gonna say right now because it's gonna be fun. I want to see if somebody responds. Even if you see a recording of this, put in what you know what pro wings are.
Because I'm absolutely
If
gonna
no
check.
one, because no one in the chat may know what a pro wing is. That is going to
Nobody,
be hilarious
just
to
you.
moi. That's going to be And
I'm
Jeff
about to
know
Google
everything. So if he don't answer, I don't know what's going on.
child. The way them kids could be in there taking him down through it. Give him a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Oh yeah. He see. Listen, great example of the situation too. But anyway, go ahead.
yeah, but but we got that teamwork thing down. Like we just jump in. Like he hold the lights when
Just
I'm taking pictures for content. I'm on the food truck flipping burgers, dropping fries. Like it's
talk
just
about it,
teamwork.
Doc.
Yeah, and people don't. I think
Yep.
that's the problem. People don't talk about it enough. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you got to be willing to work in your partner's dream or work in your partner's creativity or work in their hobby or whatever they got going on. You have to be willing to do that because A, they're gonna love you more for it. But B, then y'all create these memories. Like, remember that time we was on a food truck and we had no air and it was hot? Or you know what I mean? Like I always say, like, remember my first time getting sunburned? I was working on the food truck. Like we'll always have that memory and he'll always know that like I got his back. So I don't think that we talk enough about getting involved in your partner's hobbies. Now I'm acting like you going off on a tangent. So bring me back to what we talking about. Bring me back.
No, no, it was good. Now, no, actually, I felt like I was taking notes because I think that's kind of leading into a great summary of like how do you combat that? And because and that's to me that what you just said is really universal. So when the children come, it needs to be about support and then also move in a way that you're creating memories with them. So it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have to be a chore or burden, but it's creating a memory because you'll have something to go back on. Remember when we didn't and we couldn't and we were exhausted. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that goes with being intentional about your frame of mind. Um, and I think those are just kind of those are universal and could hit all of the different elements that we kind of talked about, like being tired. And you always mention communication and kind of
Because that's really what it
communicating
is.
those things. And you got a
But like
team. I'm gonna just
honest
put team up.
communication. I think it's honest communication. Let me highlight that because I think people are communicating, but people are not being honest. I think people are saying what they think the other person wants to hear. I think they're saying what sounds good. I think they're saying what if I say this, it's gonna make me feel like it's gonna make me seem like a good person. I don't think they're being honest. So communication is amazing, but honest communication is better.
Got you. And I think honest communication is the only way. I would give it
I said it to the
that
people.
much
Said it
premise.
to the people.
Definitely. So um I know we're kind of close to the end. Um but Doc, I don't know how comfortable you and Jeff would be sharing because this I've seen it and I know, man, y'all are, y'all are what I would call a power couple because the way you support each other, the way y'all jump in, and you kind of gave a few examples like, hey, he holds the light when I make content. Um, so Doc had, and Doc has her own office. She has a she shed, right?
I
Is that
do.
correct?
I do. I do.
Man, how did you get how did you get your she shed, Doc?
My husband built it.
Her husband built it.
Well, he finished it.
Built it.
Like we bought the shed and then he finished it out
Well,
and
you
he
have to
moved
do
all
I
of my
no,
furniture
yeah, he
in
got to
it.
put the sheetrock. Yeah,
Yeah,
because I
he did
I
all that.
seen I seen it getting done. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
he did all
so
that.
I think that's a great kind of a great example or one little example of that's how you chime in. So like right
Yeah.
now, if people don't understand, Doc is a mother. Um and I think her children span a good years
Child.
in different genres. So there are a lot of moving parts when it comes to her family. And
Mm-hmm.
to attack all of those things, this is a licensed therapist who has a pretty tight schedule and a very, very intense position because,
Right.
being if you've just been a good friend to somebody, that's probably 1 inch of a feeling. And if you felt that, like, man, that person going through a lot and it impacts your energy, then I'm pretty sure she experiences that. Having to be in time, on time, running a business, being a entity of yourself, giving presentations, building that out. Um, and your your husband is involved in a lot of those aspects. One,
Mhm.
when it comes to the children, when you're in session, maybe like if you're doing a podcast, the children are with him, correct?
Correct.
And he's managing that, right? Okay, hey, I
Right.
need my
And the
space,
dog.
so I can conduct my call. Yeah, yeah, and the dog, and conduct my sessions. He has to be, and if they at school, then he's fulfilling that. Now, he is a chef. When he has catering gigs, or like you said, he's on his schedule out on the truck. He is
Mhm.
gone, and he's like, man, I need help on a truck, or to do this on this weekend or for this event. So, then you're there, right?
Yep.
That's like that's so I love that part of the team up, because it might not be, that's not necessarily your space, or you good at
Mm,
it and you might not enjoy it, but you jump
mm.
into it. And like you mentioned, I
You
love the
do.
fact you were talking about it makes memories. And what I will tell
Right.
anyone, memories are what make the relationship.
Mm.
Memories are what make the relationship. Like when someone supports you through a trying time, and y'all didn't know if you was going to make it, and then you ultimately make it, that brings you closer together. And you
That's true.
said, and people say this flippantly, they had my back. And
Mhm.
that to me, that is really the fundamental pillars of relationship. I would say quality and healthy relationships. Knowing someone has
Yeah.
your back, knowing that you can team up together, and they're willing to team up with you. Um, they're willing to honestly communicate with you about the good, the bad, and the ugly, and then they want to create memories with you. They create memories with you. And it may be one you be like, man, we was really upset with each other. Remember then, when that happened, and be able to get to that point. But I think that comes with the honest communication, um, and teaming up, because sometimes you got to team up and do stuff you don't want to. So
Yes.
that's just my way. That's my mind and how it kind of wraps all together. And
Right.
if you put those four things: being supportive, create memories together, have honest communication, and be willing to team up on each other's dreams and actions and moves to
Mhm.
support, which comes back around to supporting one another, then
Mhm.
you can get past anything that comes, including the introduction of children, the progression of those children, and the demands that they make on the marriage or the relationship.
I totally agree. I don't have nothing to add to that. That was wonderful.
Man, I feel it.
So let me
Man,
get my final
I
thoughts
feel
though.
like something. Say this what?
Yeah, let me
Yeah,
get
go
some
ahead,
final
Doc.
thoughts.
I'm done.
My final thoughts are, first of all, shout out to my husband for navigating those children because they are a handful. But speaking of children and your marriage, as long as you can communicate honestly and effectively about what you want, your children will not ruin your marriage. They will enhance your marriage. Now they're gonna ruin your
Boom.
bank account. They gonna tear that up, but they will not ruin your marriage, just your bank account. Also, this dope cooking show is coming up soon. Be on the lookout for that. You can follow him on Instagram at this dope cooking show. You can follow me on Instagram at Latoya the therapist. You can follow Eric on Instagram at Cullinan8. It is spelled under his name right there because he is the biggest diamond ever found on land. Also, please follow BS3. Like, comment, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, and come back next week so we can share some more of our perspective.
Absolutely. Hey, and definitely a we have perspective group. Go to the group on Facebook, join the group, comment, interact with us. Let us know topics you would like discussed, um, things you want to address. Definitely give us feedback. And I want to reiterate what Doc said. Hit the like button, please. Share, invite individuals. We really appreciate that. And come and get active in the listen. We're going to protect you. Come and get active with us. It won't be a problem. We really appreciate you being here, and we'll see you next week, Thursday, 8:30 on Perspective. All right. All right.